When his sidekick and adopted son is put in peril, Oliver Queen will turn Star City upside down. If it means catching the mysterious Crimson Archer, what'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Green Arrow issue number 27 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Lian had gone to visit her father Roy, who was recovering in the hospital, only to be shocked to discover that he wasn't in his bed at all. None of the nurses at the hospital seemed to know anything, and as you are right to assume, Lian is horrified about where her father might have gotten off to, but even more so what he might be doing. Again, all the other characters in the story still aren't 100% sure what exactly caused or brought about this seeming overdose for Roy, a guy who's had a long history with drug abuse. And these fears only get deeper and more realized when Lian rushes to the roof to see her father standing over the edge. More on that in a minute, though. From there, we transition back on over to Green Arrow, who's hit the streets looking for any evidence he can find that will lead him to the person responsible for Roy's overdose. Green Arrow picks up a local dealer by the name of Phil, a guy with his own hard luck story about slinging drugs only to support his young daughter, a job that has only gotten more and more difficult as of late, with dealers dropping left, right, and center. At first, Phil is slow to spill the beans about the Crimson Archer to Green Arrow, not just because he's a superhero and that goes against the rules of the street, but also because this guy wears a hood and shoots arrows. Phil just kind of jumped to the conclusion that the Crimson Archer must be with Green Arrow's crew, and I mean, hey, can you really blame him? After some coaxing, eventually Phil spills the beans that Crimson Archer isn't just taking out local drug dealers, but he's also flooding the streets with his own brand new concoction, a super narcotic called Crimson Sand. This stuff is incredibly powerful, instantly addictive, and fatal to just about anyone who tries it. You might be thinking to yourself, geez, a street drug that kills you, that's probably not a great business plan, is it? But you would be even more surprised to learn in real-world drug circles, if there is a batch that is fatal and is killing people, that just makes drug users want it more. It's like a badge of honor. It must be super strong, right? It must be that fabled ultimate high that we're all chasing. And hey, speaking of highs, back with Roy and Lian, father ends up opening up to his daughter about his long history of drug use and what drove him to the needle in the first place. As Roy explains, he grew up unlike other people. He didn't have a normal life. There was always a deep, dark hole inside of him that he tried to fill. For a while, being a superhero filled that void, but of course, being the sidekick and living in the shadow of Green Arrow isn't easy. Ollie is a hard man to understand, and equally a hard man to love sometimes. It felt like every time Roy broke down one of his personal walls, there would be another one smacking him in the face. Maybe he turned to drugs as a cry for help, a cry that Ollie, unfortunately, in one of his greatest moments of parental disappointment, he did not answer the call. Still though, Roy got clean. He became a drummer in a band. He became a narcotics counselor himself. He learned to love being a hero and helping people again. And yet, despite all that hard work, like a lot of recovering addicts, they still have that nagging fear in the back of their head that it's only going to take one hit to drag them back under. That's exactly what Crimson Archer did in this situation to Arsenal. Stole his choice, made him fear, and rocked his faith in himself all over again. How is Roy going to deal with this problem? Well, the only way he knows how: suit up and get back into the field. Even if he's not quite ready to help himself just yet, maybe he is ready to help other people. Now back over with Green Arrow, he doesn't have to wait too long to find his next lead revolving Crimson Archer. Phil had mentioned that this guy travels in a puff of red smoke, and in the distance, that's exactly what Ollie sees, and in a very cool set of art-forward, textless panels, we actually see Green Arrow traverse the entire city rooftop to rooftop, rendered in loving detail as we see our hero push themselves harder and harder to get there in time. And indeed, as Green Arrow shows up, it seems that the Crimson Archer is ready to kill again. Luckily, Ollie is there to make the save. The two banter back and forth for a bit, but interestingly enough, Crimson Archer doesn't seem to be all that quick to reveal his true identity or even much of his true motives just yet. Still though, in classic supervillainous fashion, this guy sets up an impossible choice for Ollie to decide. He can either give chase to him right now and discover his true identity, or he can save the life of this low-level dealer who will expire with the lethal amount of Crimson Sand in his bloodstream right now. And I mean, yeah, the answer to this one is obvious. Green Arrow is a superhero, he's a good guy, he'll always prioritize helping the person in need, but the extra angle to all of this, as the comic comes to a close is that Ollie is much more motivated to save the life of this drug-dealing drug user, because he still blames himself for not helping Roy with his own addiction all those years ago. And so that was Green Arrow issue number 27, everybody, and once again, I'm really happy that I managed to make the time and the room on the channel to talk about my favorite hero in a book that really has become one of those great little DC hidden gems, perhaps a gem that is too hidden because, as we learned this week via Scott Snyder, apparently this book is not long for this world and will be ending sooner rather than later. A bummer, I know. But as a lifelong Green Arrow fan, you kind of get used to this. Again, he's not one of those AAA heroes. He's a cool, exciting cult favorite heroes, which honestly is a blessing and a curse. Again, I don't think you could tell a story like this that is so raw and purposefully uncomfortable with a hero like, I don't know, Batman, who has to sell lots of books and is always in the public eye. It really feels like Condon can kind of get away with more, and it's why I've really loved this series and why I've especially liked this arc right here. If you can't tell from my commentary, I know a little bit about drugs, addiction, and the effects they have on family. I've unfortunately seen them myself up close and personal, and I honestly never thought I would see a superhero comic render it in such a mature, matter-of-fact way, but it's one of the many reasons why I think this book is so special. Overall, I think I feel comfortable giving this one another very positive 8 out of 10. Loved this book, glad I got a chance to catch up on it, will be sad when it's all said and done.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way, everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.